we have struggles here in Vassar with the population we have, and then even on a smaller scale. I mean, to have a thriving business in a small community.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what's key to success in that situation?
You know, I think a lot of it is building relationships with the people that do come in. You kind of just got to be on all the time. You know, we definitely had a lot of growing pains. At the beginning of the boutique, there were like days I just prayed one person would come in. I just didn't want a day where nobody came in. You know, and
good thing her husband was paying the utilities.
Welcome to another episode of Small Town Grit. I'm your host, Corey Haubs, and I have two special guests, Nick and Sarah Costello, with me from Reese. Welcome.
Hi.
Hello.
You guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for coming. I'm surprised you had time to squeeze me in here.
Every once in a while.
Yeah. So you guys, I thought I was busy, but you guys are just as busy or maybe busier than I
don't know. I see your name a lot. You got me into everything.
We can do that at tie, but maybe after we go through everything, that you guys might edge me out a little bit.
See.
So first, we'll start with Nick. You got Nick's Construction. Is this 20 years this year?
Nope. 2027 will be 20 years.
Okay, so
we bought it in 2007. Yep.
From your brother?
Oh, yeah, from my brother. So I was doing it since 2000.
Yeah, because I remember
Yeah.
Mike back in the day.
Yes.
And
on my own, we split in 2007.
2007, yep. I think
he's down Tennessee?
Yeah, Knoxville.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a different animal down there, isn't it?
Booming.
Different.
Yeah, and busy. Too much for me.
Yeah.
Too crazy.
Our oldest son moved down there, in Tennessee, just south of Nashville, about 30 minutes.
It's crazy. It's nonstop.
He picked us up from the airport and took it to his house, and it was like, I don't know, 5 cars wide. I was just like, it was nuts.
Give me back to Vassar.
Yeah, I get a little anxiety when we go down to Detroit anymore.
Right.
It's like we get kind of spoiled up here.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, Sarah, you have Scoop and Market Gray right now, and what else do you have going on? You guys have a couple other rental properties
we
as
do.
well.
Yep, we have 9 rentals, couple apartments in there. So yeah, all right in Reese.
That's one thing that I never wanted to get into is apartment rentals. I just,
I know. We have such great tenants. Knock on wood.
Well, somebody's paying your
They're
mortgage
amazing.
for you, though, so you got to.
I understand that, but you're always going to hear that story of.
I know. We're very blessed right now.
I could write a book.
I think every entrepreneur could almost write a book, right?
Yeah.
About the struggles and a story about everybody has a Jimmy on their crew, and they, How did you guys? Obviously, Nick, you took over your brother's business, but how did you guys kind of get the Market Gray, Scoop, kind of?
Everything just kind of evolved. It was definitely not the plan.
Well, the store actually started with your mom and dad had the antique.
Yeah, but we didn't sort of take it over.
Coin and gifts.
Yeah, and then Sarah started.
Well, we had too many kids, and so I could not work outside of the home anymore. So daycare was a little crazy. So I left my job when we had our 4th child. And then stayed home for about 5 minutes. And I was like, this is not for me either. So, it just kind of evolved. My mom had retired, and their space they occupied, they didn't really want to do too much of that anymore. So
wasn't the space you're in now, wasn't that Nick's office kind of?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, there was an office in the back. It was an old car dealership,
Oh, yeah,
growing
the
up.
Ford dealership.
Yep.
That's what
So,
I remember it as, yeah.
We just kept revamping and getting bigger and bigger, and now she's almost
Remodeling.
to my shop
100-year-old
with space. Yeah.
Yeah, it's grown a little bit.
Yeah, I
So-
drove through town. I saw you had a side entrance now, and you put some money in a couple of years ago and redid the facade and kind of
all that. We just did that this year.
Oh, this year,
Yep,
okay.
New roof.
No, that was last year. Mike
Was
D
it?
did it. Yeah, last summer.
Okay, yeah, last fall
Yeah.
we finished. So, we've been very fortunate. People around here are super supportive of our business, and there's not a lot of shopping in this area, and so it's been great. We've just kind of grown a little bit over the years. So it'll be 9 years this month.
Congratulations, yeah.
Thanks.
We all went through that COVID time. Construction kind of got through it easily for the most part. We had some essential work, but I mean,
It was tough.
can't really sell ice cream during
Nope. For sure.
Luckily, that season really didn't start up yet.
It delayed us about a month. But the boutique, it definitely forced us online.
Yeah.
You know, we weren't really online prior to that. So I think the rules were like you could go in for inventory and do like your payroll or you know, deposits and stuff like that. So we could go in and fill orders, but it really pushed us to grow the website. So it was a good thing in that respect.
Was that hard to kind of get your mind around to go have that online presence, you know?
For sure.
Because you're so personable and people want to try things out or touch and feel.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you just feel lost in the shuffle. There's so much. It's sometimes feels like such a saturated market. There's boutiques everywhere. And so we liked the interaction because we knew what made us different. You know, we have a lot of things that we offer complimentary, and my staff is amazing. They're so good. They're so good.
But I would say it also pushed you to go online more.
Yeah, that's what.
You know what
absolutely.
I mean?
No,
So-
for sure
so
it did. For sure it did. But
Kind of kickstarted that a little bit.
yeah, but we definitely missed. And then, you know, getting back into it because people had such strong feelings about, do you wear a mask? Do you not wear a mask? And, you know, you try to follow the rules, and the rules were always changing, and it was tough.
Yeah. Different times for sure. Thank you to our sponsors. IRD Homes, Mid-Michigan's top contractor, bringing new builds and renovations to life. Timber Oaks. Timber Oaks offers customized lawn and landscape solutions and is a premier Mid-Michigan lawn care company. Link Excavation, your Mid-Michigan excavating experts, serving Bay, Tuscola, Saginaw, Huron, and Genesee counties. So I remember when your grandparents had the coin shop in town. Yeah.
Yep.
You always had to walk through the gifts part, and then to get back to what I wanted to get to, it was the cars.
Baseball cards.
Yeah. You know, I lived right in town, and you know, got my 50 cents or $1 and ride my bike uptown and buy my pack of
It
cards.
definitely makes us feel like it's a little bit of like a legacy business because they were such a big part of our small town.
Do you feel
for
like
so
that
long.
kind of gave you a little bit of entrepreneur spirit? Because that's
I do, yeah. And actually, I didn't even know until years later as an adult, my other grandma had, I think, an ice cream shop in town.
Okay.
I think it was called like the Swing Bowl or something. I don't know. I might be missing.
I kind of feel like we had this leftover room on my building,
right
up in that front corner.
Yep.
And that's kind of where it inspired, sort of.
Well,
or like, what should we do with this space?
If you remember, the computer guy was across the street, and then he bought a new building that had the ice cream equipment in it, and they had no interest in that, but they needed concrete work.
Yes,
so
definitely
we
gave us
did
the
concrete
push.
work.
Yeah.
We got the ice cream equipment, and then it was like, all right, I'm gonna figure this out.
That's a tough business because that's only like 4-month window, probably. Kind of.
It is.
I was probably like high school girls, kids kind of situation.
7.
Yeah.
One of them is mine, but 7 girls on our staff. They're so great, sweetest girls. Yeah. So we're very lucky. Nobody in all the years I have had this shop, I've never had somebody call in sick. Like for teenagers, it's amazing. So
Ice cream makes you feel better.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't feel good. I guess I'm going to go to work and get some ice cream.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you guys buy that building across the street? Mm-hmm. You guys still, that's one of your rentals then?
Yeah. We turned that into a salon.
Okay. When I drove by, I was like, I think that's a salon.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
What's next? I mean, is it just an opportunity thing, like you said? I mean, you don't really.
A couple more houses. That's my goal.
Yeah.
A couple more.
Yeah.
I'd like to be around 15 rentals. You know,
in the area, though.
Yeah.
You know, we had one in Saginaw, and that was tough during COVID because we essentially ended up with squatters. You know,
right.
You didn't have to pay. It was very, and not being right in town, it was difficult. That we had to sell the house to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
These are easy.
Yeah, you would think 15 miles away.
Yeah, I can just buzz over there.
Yeah. Yeah, we used to have a hair salon in Mayville, and it was the same thing. When there was an issue, it seemed like it took forever, and then you lost half your day, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, logistics of operations is always key. But you know, what's population of Reese that you guys are in? 650, 700?
Last I knew it was about 1,100.
Oh, it was 1,100?
Yeah, but that might have been a hot sec.
Okay.
I don't.
We're gonna fact check you on that
Please do. You probably know more than I.
You know, I mean, we have struggles here in Vassar with the population we have, and then even on a smaller scale. I mean, to have a thriving business in a small community.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what's key to success in that situation?
You know, I think a lot of it is building relationships with the people that do come in. You kind of just got to be on all the time. You know, we definitely had a lot of growing pains. At the beginning of the boutique, there were like days I just prayed one person would come in. I just didn't want a day where nobody came in. You know, and
good thing her husband was paying the utilities.
It helped that we owned the space, because if I had to pay rent, I would have been out of business a long time ago. Yeah. But, you know, we've just built such a great word of mouth community, and some of the women we've interacted with, whether it's prom shopping or we've had customers that have very specific needs because they've gone through like a treatment or something and want someplace quiet and that they feel comfortable. And I cannot say enough about my staff. They're so great, and they just are so welcoming and make these women feel so comfortable. So that spreads.
So how do you find your staff? Or you're just so blessed that they just said, Sarah, I'm
got
gonna work for you. I don't feel good. I need some ice cream. I mean,
ice cream is like my daughter and all her friends right now. But you know, the boutique, it's a mishmash of gals that all came from just different. I have a gal from Kingston that's worked for me for a couple years. Never knew her until she cold called me. And then, I mean, everybody's been with me minimum of 2 years. So we have 9 total. One of my gals is my website person. She works off staff. But it's really just been like from all different areas.
It's easy for us to get away.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
we have,
good. Yeah, no, that's good.
Yeah.
So what's, Nick, your situation and mine? I mean, we're seasonal to a certain degree.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you retain those employees, you know, year after year? Because, you know, you kind of shut down those winter months. You plow a little snow, but...
Yeah, I mean, you know the game. You got to pay.
Right.
You know, you got to have some guys you can trust. And, yeah, it's tough at times.
Yeah.
You know.
You see a big shift in the age group. People more our age are used to working.
Yeah.
That manual labor.
The new ones, we really got to work.
It's harder to find. Yeah.
We really got to work on them, you know.
I think they just need more direction
For sure.
than what
Yeah.
we were brought up. Like, we were just expected to just get in there, and if we make a mistake, we make a mistake. But
Absolutely.
I think the younger generation are scared to make a mistake.
Yeah.
And then they need, in the other end of it, they need a little bit of push, a little guidance. So, and that's frustrating for me, because I'm just like,
go.
I'll just do it then. You know?
Well, and you guys had the opportunity to have like shop class. You know what I mean? So you,
I definitely
within
think that
high
kind of
school,
stuff
you are
helped.
doing stuff,
You know.
with your hands and having to learn how to build and fix. And
Kids nowadays
at least
can't
in
even
Reese, we don't
change
have
a
that
tire.
anymore.
You know, but we got taught that in 10th grade.
Right.
You know, so.
Yeah, somebody broke down, you call your buddies and be like, hey, I need help here. And then we all get in a car, and it's just, you know, we all took care of it. You know, it wasn't,
sure.
Call AAA.
Right.
There was, it wasn't a thing back then. I mean, there was, but not with the
Different
boys.
times.
So, yeah. And, you know, you compete with union companies. That's hard, too.
Yeah, no, that's one thing we talked about here is like, how can we be competitive against the union?
Yeah.
So, you know, we're fortunate that we implemented benefits and things like that.
So did we. You have to, just to be competitive. And it is nice when you know your working radius is within 30 miles and not 150 miles.
Right.
So.
And that's what's appealing to guys. Because there's great talent around here. But it's like, they don't want to spend 4 hours on the road to drive to Detroit and back.
Yeah,
You know, they'll take
absolutely.
a little bit of a pay cut or compromise, which helps us be competitive in our area. And they're not on the road for 4 hours, and they can spend the evenings with their families.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know, 4 hours on the road, like 2 hours each way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Time is money, and a lot of lost family time.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And this is just, it's hard work. It is hard work. I mean, what all you guys do is hard. It is, concrete is a tough business. It's hot. It's you know, heavy lifting.
I think the worst part is the training that it takes to become one. You know what I mean? It's not like
You don't
it's
have
not
the
like
time
you get
to
it
train.
overnight. You won't even get it in a season, you know.
Yeah.
To train a finisher to be a finisher.
Yeah, because we were talking because you've taken some classes in the off season, right?
Yeah.
And then you guys went to World of Concrete.
Yeah,
last
we go to
year?
World of Concrete. Usually, at least every other year,
Yeah.
we try to go. But yeah, and you do like your fall prevention classes, and R&R is great about having different training sessions. So,
Well, basically, we got to learn about these new mixes because government rules or
Right,
whatever
yeah.
are taking different things away from us, which makes finishing concrete easier. You know,
Yeah.
so we got to pay for these extra additives now just to get, I don't know, some cream on the mix.
Yeah, technology has changed
Yes,
on that.
yeah.
Yeah.
well, and I feel like too, like when you're training somebody to do flooring, you can take out what was wrong. You can't do that with concrete. There's no practice with it. It's once it's in, and it's not like we just have the time to pour samples all over it. You are learning on the job, and once it's down, that's it. That's it. There's no fix. It's got to be perfect all of the time, and even when it's out of your control, and that's hard.
Yeah.
Our sales
Elements.
rep said the other day, he made a good point. He's like, we're just so used to everything being like to us and perfect and cookie cutter. And this is the only industry that stays all manual. There's no machine or anything that can do what your hands
And you're
can do
dealing with the
anymore.
elements, which changes the game
tough.
too.
Yeah, we had a meeting today. We got trim and flooring to put in, and we're talking about humidity. We're in Michigan, so we have
Yeah.
It was 50-some degrees this morning, and it's in the mid-80s
Right.
by afternoon.
Right.
It's just what it is.
It's like frost in the ground. Concrete does not love frost in the ground.
So you guys are 20 years of marriage.
Yeah.
Next
week,
week?
on Wednesday.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you survive 20 years?
Oh, he can't afford the child support to leave
Yeah.
me, so.
My wife said the same thing. She's like, you can't afford to divorce me.
Yeah.
So we'll be married 20 years next year.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's 5 kids. I think that's just it. We're
5 kids from 5 years old to
to
17, senior.
We have a senior, a new high schooler, a new middle schooler, and a new kindergartner.
We're going to have 4 in the high school this year.
Yeah.
4 in the high school.
Yeah.
We're in the middle high school.
Well, the
Middle
high
school, yeah.
From 6th to 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have one starting the elementary.
Yep.
So how do you adapt? I remember when we had the hair salon and our youngest son, we drug him all over. We're going to the salon. We're doing this. We got to, cash out the till. We got to clean.
They do. They just, our oldest works at the ice cream shop, and Ava comes to work with me just about every day. She is out there
Or
cleaning
the next one in
floors
line
and-
will watch her
Yeah.
until we fall
Yeah.
into place.
Yeah.
Our boys have started coming to work with Nick this summer, and so they're learning,
Dabbling.
My 14-year-old he's pretty proud. He can hit edges
Oh,
really
okay.
well doing flat work. So
So he
that's
probably
like
doesn't want to
his,
get up in the morning.
his thing.
Because you start early in the morning.
I was shocked because he will sleep in until 11 if you let him.
Okay.
And I say, hey, we're rolling up at 6:30, and he was on it.
He does, but then
He's a little
as soon
mopey.
as he's home from work, he's like, I gotta take a nap. I'm like,
Yeah.
See, do you not appreciate this now?
Yeah, between the heat and the manual labor, that's probably. Any kids in sports or anything?
Yeah.
So you got balance
We got-
that too, huh?
Oh yeah. Football,
Sport.
dance,
I know you guys,
gymnastics,
or even what's the the play
Haubs?
stuff. The
play.
Yeah, that's what I got.
2 of my
Nice.
girls do the
Yeah.
theater. Yeah.
Theater,
Yeah,
yeah,
there
theater.
you go.
We didn't have the theater there when we were in school.
We
that
no,
was a
we
big
did
asset
it.
afterwards.
Yep. So Nick usually gets brought into building sets, and then I do costumes usually.
Yeah.
So we help with that. So yeah, I coach my daughter's pom team with Krista, who works with me. So yeah, stay busy.
7th grader will be playing football. Yeah.
Okay, that's got to be starting up in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, real soon.
So what hours do you sleep? Because there doesn't sound like there's much sleep time in that.
Yeah.
See, I'll keep moving down the list here. You guys are just elevating your game here.
Well, when we're done here, we got to go home and do payroll.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I did payroll
Yeah.
last
we don't
night,
have
so
the
I'm ahead
luxury
you.
of doing it during the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what though, but we're close to home when we're at work, and for the most part accessible to our kids, and that's just it's worth it. So, yeah.
My wife says that I can't move out of town because I'm so close. If I need to go to town to get something, she's like, "You make 20 trips uptown every day."
For sure. Yeah.
I'm like, I guess I do.
Yeah, so. I agree with that. If I need something from the shop, it's 1 mile away.
Anything new in Reese? Seems like it's a very vibrant town still. I mean, I don't think there's very many.
Yeah, there's nothing empty right now. Subway's for sale. If you want to buy Subway,
there you go.
Right there. You guys are looking for those opportunities.
We did talk about it, but I'm
briefly.
Like, oh man, yeah, briefly, yeah.
Don't start that rumor.
Yeah. It crossed through.
Yeah. Restaurants are tough gigs. I give restaurant owners.
Yes, we say that all the time. My wife's like, "You're not owning a restaurant. You're not opening a bar." And I'm like, "Man,
it's a lot of work."
I think every guy wants to open a bar at one time in his life. So.
No, never got to me either because that seems like a lot of hours after hours.
Yeah. It's a commitment.
I like my day shift. Book work at night seems easy, and that's okay because maybe you can.
You're in the air conditioning and
a beer.
Yeah. Do you think if you had to start your businesses today, in 2024, you'd try and make a go of it, or you think it was easier to transition when you're either younger?
I feel like we didn't have an option when his brother moved. That's all we knew. I mean, I still worked full time, but it was really like it was the year his brother was moving, and our accountant was like, "You guys just buy the business," and we were like, "We can't afford that."
Right.
So, yeah.
It was 2007.
Right before the housing crisis.
Basically, it crashed. So my brother and I had a talk, and he went south and found some work, and basically he stayed, liked it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, we can't really keep one company running in 6 states away. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it actually probably saved us both. We both had house payments, brand new houses, and a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
A lot of equipment, a lot of bills.
For two people to collect
so that
on that.
Split actually probably saved both companies.
For sure.
Okay. Yeah.
And then it was easy to make it go.
You have no choice at that
point.
I
don't know if I'd say easy, but
you don't have a choice.
There was some struggles.
Yeah.
You're talking. I mean, I want to say we looked at the books.
We did. We just kind of went back and did year-to-year comparisons, and I'm like,
I think we poured like 1 or 2 basements in 2008.
Okay.
Like two complete houses.
Yeah.
I'm like, we do that now in a week and a half.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Isn't that crazy? Scalability.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you had probably 1 or 2 other guys with you, and now you have a crew to do this, and everybody just kind of works and
everybody's just kind of going. Gets it.
It's a lot to manage, but stuff like that just kind of evolves. But I actually did. I looked at our our concrete vendors and how much we bought in concrete, and if the math is about right, you've poured just over 909,000 square feet of concrete.
No.
That's a lot.
I know.
So we're not there yet.
Not quite there yet. Not ready to retire.
That's a lot of it's a lot of concrete. But a lot of learning curves along the way.
Probably did beat it with the people that bought their own, material. Some people buy their own material.
Yeah. But
so that number's that's low.
1,000,000 square feet.
Yeah. Right. But so it's you did what you had to do in the beginning. So
any words for anybody wanting to start a business?
I think a lot of it is just continuing on, even when you doubt yourself a little bit, and reach out to other people for help. When we opened the Scoop, it seems silly because it's such a small seasonal business, but I gotta give a little shout out to Mike at Pompeii. He would come down and give me all the tips for the health department, and nope, you need this behind the counter, and so lean on those people that know what they're doing, and it's super helpful, and we're grateful that we live in such a small community where people are invested in each other's success. Mm-hmm. So
that's one thing I always man, I wish I had a mentor to throw some things off of. Mm-hmm. My wife's she loves me and she'll support me, but she's not programmed that way.
Yeah.
And she's like, do whatever you want. And I'm like, well, that's not what I want. No. I'm like,
So you just get to be somebody else's mentor. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm just like, oh, did I make a right decision? Or especially with expansion and growth, I'm like, is it the right time? You know, because we both started a business in the recession. So I get a little cautious and I'm like, well, is everything going to slow down? Or, you know, especially like election year this year, typically in our world, all the numbers have been kind of conservative, but this year it has not been that case.
Yeah,
so.
I agree. I don't think they have been, you know.
Yeah, everything's been go.
Yeah, busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I really think the prediction of this year was we were going to see like a downward sort of trend, and that hasn't happened yet. So, but you have to be prepared for that, and it's hard. You got a lot of families that are relying on you, and
so I'm like, I don't want to overextend the business or myself, or you know, like you said, we got I don't know how many families you have to feed, but you break it down to
absolutely
their mouth, their spouses, their kids. I mean, it's adds up in a lot, and it's like you know, it's a lot of burden.
It's a big responsibility. You take that home with you every single night.
And you might take on jobs you may not want, but
just to fill a schedule.
Keep the schedule rolling.
I've done that before, and they were like, "Why do we do this?" I'm like, because we needed that 1 week so you get a paycheck." You know, and
exactly.
like, not saying this is our dream job, and I know you're not gonna like it, but we're gonna do it this week.
Yeah.
So, and you know, usually they understand.
Yeah,
so.
For sure.
Any guys' clothes? Am I gonna?
We do have men's clothes.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Even for big guys like me?
Yeah.
We sell.
I go in there all the time.
We are a very size inclusive boutique.
All right.
But yeah, no, we started prom last year. That's been awesome. We had our
like
second
prom
year.
dresses. Okay. Do you buy back too? Like no.
No, everything's new, but we are very like price conscious. You know, I always think of. I mean, I have 5 kids. Clothing 5 kids is not cheap, and so when we're buying things, I look at it and I think, okay, would I spend this much money on this for my kid or for myself? And so, yeah, we always try to take that into consideration.
That was my last winter's project, was the expansion for the dresses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I did big old dress room, I guess, whatever you call it.
So the first year
and storage.
We had
back room,
like
whatever.
41 or 51, I think, girls, because we register their dresses and with schools, and it's so fun. And this year we were like around 112. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it's been great. Yep.
See, that was.
Yeah.
What's next now?
Maybe
I need a nap.
A nap? I believe that. Actually, you're on vacation, right?
We are.
So you need to. Are those good for you? Like, do you feel like recharged after you go on like a little?
No, because you go and you're like, okay, I got to do all the things because we don't have the kids with us, and so you pack it all in, and then you're just tired when you come home.
Usually I go on vacation, I just like sleep. I'm just like so relaxed. Nobody's gonna call me if there's a problem. I can't get back.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
good point. Yeah. Just keep the phone off.
Plus a couple of drinks, and then I'm really relaxed.
Yeah.
So.
For sure.
Well, great. Thanks for coming in today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
I'm really proud of you guys, what you guys are doing in your community.
Oh my gosh, right back at you.
And,
it's awesome. We love seeing all of this that you do and how much you support your community because that's so important to us. You know, seeing our community thrive. So seeing you and how much you do for this area is awesome.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.